What's up guys, my name is Ace, and one of the things I was most excited for with the Season 2 update in Modern Warfare 2 is the return of the Infected game mode. I really like this game mode because it offers a really nice, relaxing change of pace from the standard multiplayer modes, especially with the matchmaking system that we now have in Call of Duty. Having said this, now that we have our hands on it, we know exactly how they're handling Infected. I've got to say, I feel like there is a lot of room for improvement here, and I feel like there are some elements that are definitely missing from this experience. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I do realize you guys are waiting for like gun guides on the new weapons, as well as some of you guys want competitive setups for ranked play. I am working on those videos, but they take a lot more time and I want to maintain a schedule, and that's why I'm going to be mixing some videos like this in so I can maintain my schedule without sacrificing quality on those other videos. So diving right into the topic, let's talk about what I like about Infected so far. Like I said, the first thing is it's just a chill, relaxing mode. Another thing I didn't mention yet, but I have confirmed, your stats in Infected don't count toward your combat record or your stats at all. So you don't have to worry about dying over and over and over again as Infected. It won't hurt your kill-death ratio. And that's nice to not have to think about that if you're somebody that cares about stats. I realize that's not everybody, but there are lots of players out there that do care about that. Additionally, when the trailer first dropped for Season 2 and they kind of teased Infected, I noticed the Infected players in the trailer all had different skins, and I didn't really like that. I like the fact that in Modern Warfare 2019, for instance, or COD World War II, when you get infected, your skin ends up changing to the same skin as all the other infected players, and I feel like that just sort of adds to the tone of the mode, where it really does feel like a horde is coming after you. So while it's obviously a very minor element in the grand scheme of things, I do like the fact that they are changing the infected skin so everybody becomes the same skin when they're infected. Another thing that I like about this version of Infected so far is the infected players have access to the Dead Silence field upgrade, and I think that's great for those situations where maybe you get one of those pesky guys that's really got a good setup in an area, and they can hear your footsteps coming from a mile away, of course. At least now you can pop that Dead Silence at the right moment, and you might be able to actually sneak up on them and get behind them and knife them in the back or hit them with a throwing knife. And then finally, I think one of the things I love most about Infected is it offers a fun goal to aim for that MGB or that nuke type streak in the game, because for the vast majority of the player base, they will never see an MGB in regular public matches, like in regular modes. They'll never see one. Not only will they never earn one themselves, but they'll never even see one in a lobby that they're playing in. And therefore, I like that in Infected, this is a realistic goal for many players to aim for. And it's nice to see that we can interact with the MGB a bit more in this mode compared to the others. So that's just a good handful of the positive things, the things I like about Infected. And don't get me wrong, while I'm providing my critical feedback for the rest of the video, I am enjoying Infected and I'm really glad that they added it. However, I do feel like Infected currently is missing some key elements, and I'd like to see some improvements over time to this mode. And the first issue I noticed, I actually had to re-record this section because they already fixed this, but I wanted to point it out anyway. When the game mode first launched, it was only one loadout that you had access to as a survivor. That was confirmed to be a bug, and it was already fixed, so good news there. There's now a much wider variety of setups that you're able to use. Next, let's talk about the forced animations when you become infected. If you get selected as the infected player at the beginning of the match, you are forced to activate your Dead Silence, which means you're forced into that animation and you're only able to hip fire in that moment. And that has already screwed me over multiple times while playing Infected. And this exact same thing happens when you get your first kill if you're the first infected, because you do start off with a gun. And then once you have at least one teammate with you, then you swap over to a knife and throwing knife. But when you get that kill, or if one of the survivors just randomly decides to kill himself, then you're once again forced into that Dead Silence animation, and this time you can't use your throwing knife during that process. And I just hate animations that get activated without my control. And while it's not a major issue, it only applies to those early game situations for the first infected, it is an unnecessary frustration in the game currently. As for the next thing that's missing, and I'm sure most of you guys are thinking the same thing, this is Specialist. And for those that don't know, maybe people just came in with Modern Warfare 2, Specialist is a method of earning perks as you continue to get kills within the same life, and it's always been a big core part of Infected for me. It provides a nice incentive to actually go out and try and hunt infected players early on so you can build yourself up, you can gain those perks and gain that power so that you're better equipped when you have a horde of infected players coming after you toward the end of the game. And those that go out and take that risk to get those kills, they're rewarded more heavily toward the end game situations, and it makes it a little bit easier to fight off a bunch of infected players coming at you at once. In Infected's current state in Modern Warfare 2, we don't gain any power or any benefit whatsoever to getting kills over time. And I do feel like that takes a massive layer of the depth and the fun and the replayability of Infected. And I get it, the game wasn't designed with Specialist in mind for the regular modes, and now that we have this new perk system where you have to charge up your perks over time, that does make things complicated as far as implementing Specialist for the other modes. And as a result, they probably don't want to design an entire Specialist system just to be used for Infected. However, I'd still like to see at least something that allows you to build up your power as a survivor over time, especially if you're getting kills on Infected players. Even if they don't have a full-on Specialist bonus, maybe just provide some ability to earn a small handful of the perks that make sense for the Infected game mode. Just like we saw with Black Ops Cold War, they didn't have Specialists in that game, but they still managed to have some kind of a system in place like this, just for the Infected game mode. Just as a quick example that I threw together here with perks that I feel like would make a lot of sense, and if they could make it so you earn one of these perks for every 2 kills you get, for instance, I think this would be excellent to see. Maybe have it so you earn Scavenger after you get 2 kills on Infected players. Then at 4 kills, you get Fast Hands. At 6 kills, you get Double Time, so you can outrun Infected players, but, of course, they've got a throwing knife, and they also have numbers by the time you get toward the endgame situation, so even if you can run faster than them, you're not going to survive for that long trying to run away. But then after that, at 8 kills, Resupply, that's a perk that really makes a lot of sense in Infected, at least in my opinion. Even though I know you can get Munitions Box as your field upgrade, I do like having Resupply as well, just to make you feel that much more powerful as you get kills on Infected players. And then finally, at 10 kills, maybe award High Alert. I think a setup like that would make Infected in this game so much better. And it would also provide a better balance between survivors and Infected players, because while I haven't had a ton of playtime in Infected yet, every single game that I've played so far has resulted in the Infected players winning, and I haven't even come across a close match where the survivors almost pulled out a win. And I think part of that is due to map design. The map design in this game, compared to Modern Warfare 2019, it doesn't allow you to really lock down power positions quite as effectively for the most part. But also, I think a big part of it is the lack of Specialists allowing you to get more powerful to better combat the Horde as that Horde grows larger. So that's the main piece of feedback that I have for this video. I really want to see either Specialist return or at least some method of gaining power over time as you kill Infected players. Because as it is right now, I don't know how much longevity this mode will have if we don't have that added depth in the game. And with that, that pretty much covers it for everything I wanted to mention in this video. I'm glad Infected is here. It offers an excellent place to go if I'm looking to relax a little bit more than regular public matches. I just think that unfortunately this Infected mode is currently lacking, and I'm hoping that they are willing to make improvements over time with it. Now, of course, these are just my thoughts on the Infected game mode in Modern Warfare 2, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this mode so far in the comment section down below. Have you been enjoying Infected since they added it to the game? And do you agree with me? Do you think we should have some method of gaining power over time as we get kills if we're a survivor? Just let me know all of the thoughts as well as any others that you might have regarding Infected down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.